Falcons at the Cowboys, a game I am incredibly interested in. The Falcons fooled me. I thought for sure they would make it a competitive game at home against the Seahawks. That was not the case at all. It wasn't even close to that. And here come now they got to head across over to Jerry's World over there in Arlington, where the Cowboys are sitting as 5-point favorites right now over at DraftKings. So, Brett, 4.5 over at FanDuel if you want that. This is an interesting game here. The Cowboys coming off a loss against the Rams, in which you think that they didn't play as bad there. And then you have this Falcons team that really did look pretty terrible, actually, against the Seahawks. Now, I think that's more of a testament to the Seahawks and how they came out with an offensive game plan that finally that they actually that everyone has been screaming from a mountaintop that they use here for a long time. 5.5 to 4.5 point favorites are the Cowboys at home against the Falcons.
Yeah, definitely the most interesting line movement of the week for me. I mean, this opened at 7 on the look ahead. It's now 4.5. Like you said, 4.5, 5.5 at some books. It appears to be climbing again towards that key number of 7. But injuries galore on the Dallas side, especially on the offensive line. Smith, Collins, the cornerstones up front for this offensive line. So you have to worry about the continuity and the chemistry of this unit. And then Leighton Vander Esch, the leader on this defense. But even still, aren't the Cowboys a better team than Atlanta? Like, much better? Like, what did the Falcons show us last week that warrants a move like this? I don't quite understand it. And I bet the Falcons last week. So, this is really confusing to me. I see this as a good spot for Dallas. I think there's just too many weapons here against this horrible Falcons defense. There's going to be a lot of points here. I know that much. I certainly look at the over here. I don't think either of these defenses are going to get stops. But on the number, the spread, I'm leaning down.
A guy that was supposed to be a contributor there on the offensive side of the ball this year, they were very excited about him. Blake Jarwin goes down. He gets placed on IR as well for the Cowboys. So, as you mentioned, Brad, just a ton of injuries there. Pass coverage was an issue for this Falcons team last year, Brad, and it seemed to be an issue again in week 1 as Russell Wilson was able to do whatever he wanted through the air. Now, one of the very best quarterbacks in all of the league in Russell Wilson, but here comes Dak, and here comes Dak with, while there is an injury to Jarwin, there are a couple of injuries, still a pretty nice looking offensive arsenal here going against this team. And again, this number fell, and there are 4.5s to be had right there.
Yes, so I think the injury situation is the real key here, isn't it? So probably the left tackle. I mean, we probably remember the last time that Tyron Smith was out against the Falcons was the Adrian Claiborne 6 sacks game, I think it was. And then the Falcons won 14-9 or something. The Cowboys just could not move the ball at all, especially if they're missing their centre from last year, their right tackle from last year. The Falcons' pass rush it's not great, but I think it is a little bit underrated. I think it's probably slightly above average by some PFF metrics. So if Smith is out, I think that could be an issue. And then the tight end, he probably cost them the game after Jarwin went out last week. There was a great Bill Barnwell piece this week talking about he missed blocks. Then there was a crucial 4th down where he ran 2 yards down the field instead of 3 yards, which forced the receiver behind him to not get past the sticks. So there are knock-on effects if you've got someone who shouldn't be on the field. And it doesn't look like Dalton Schultz should be on the field at the NFL level. So I've not got involved in this game, but if Smith is out and the number is still above 4, I might be tempted to have a small bet on the Falcons.
Yeah, so when we record this, we're trying to get this out to you guys as soon as we can so that you can move on some of these numbers before they really get going. And then also because we want to make sure that, there's plenty of time to kind of digest what we're going at here. So player props for a lot of these games have not come out yet. And so with that, it's a little bit tough for me to get to where I try to make a lot of money on the weekends and some of these player props. But I can tell you this, and I'm curious as to y'all's opinion on this and see if I'm off base here, but I'm going to be looking at offense in this game. I'm going to be looking at receiver props in particular whenever they come out. And if I find DK Metcalf numbers in the 50s or something like that, even if it was low. I think anything in the 50s is going to be an auto overplay for me on Metcalf. I think that we're sorry, I'm looking at I'm looking at the wrong thing. As
Wait, we're on a
sorry on on Amari Cooper. If anything is in the 50s for Amari Cooper, is going to be something that I'm going to be kind of like an auto overplay here for me. I mean, like this is I think a baseline projection for him would be for me in the high 60s. So if I'm going to get a 10-yard kind of from where I have a projection system kind of looking at here, from the numbers that I'm doing kind of crudely here, on my end, anything in the 50s, maybe even in the kind of low 60s would be an auto play on the over for me. I think the Cowboys through the air here against this Falcons secondary is something I'm going to look to attack from a player prop standpoint.
I'm with you. I'm not worried as much about the offensive line because of the weapons they have and their ability to separate. If Dak can get the ball out quickly, I think the Cowboys are going to be fine here. And Amari, just look at Amari's splits at home since he joined the Cowboys. The guy just eats there. And I'm expecting a huge game out of the Cowboys this week.